What's up, y'all? I'm here. Nah. We about to get started. There we go. Other cut only works at nighttime. What's up? We are setting the record straight this year, and I am pissing a lot of people off. And please understand this. It's better to be pissed off than pissed on. You dig? So let's make it very clear to all you weird ass niggas out here. Your feelings are irrelevant. We got to get back to a time to where men do not consider people's feelings when the job needs to be done. Go back to the days of our grandparents. See, a lot of y'all done jumped into hip hop. Now y'all trying to give it away. Y'all trying to give black culture away. All right, I'm going to give you motherfuckers something to give away. Give away this shit talk too that we have within our culture. It's time to go back to treating these people the way our grandparents treated us, by not giving a fuck. When a job needs to get done in black America, our grandparents and the baby boomers, they lost a little bit of that edge that the generation before them had. They still had some of it. The baby boomers still went to work every day, and they were consistent. They did a great job with that, you know? Like my parents went to work every day. I don't see how my parents went to the same job 5 days a week for 40 years. Hell no, I couldn't do no shit like that. But and I look at my dad. My dad's a truck driver, you know, and all the work all the hours that he put in and never complained. So I do want to give the baby boomers their respect in that, and from that aspect, they worked. But that generation before that, they didn't give a fuck about your feelings. They worked. And if something needed to be said, then goddamn it, Auntie Maxine was going to say it and not give a goddamn how you felt about it. It's time as black culture we get back to that. So today's Sunday sermon is going to be a whole lot of messages on how not to be a hoe. It's a lot of hoes that done infiltrated hip hop, that I've been jumping in black culture, taking the best aspects of it, and leaving the realness behind. We got to get back to a life where, Lord, people are not hoes. Don't be a hoe. True hip hop, true black culture is hoe free. Meaning, you lose a rap battle, you get over it and you keep going. You don't make songs about losing friends and getting sympathy, Drake. Or you don't do like Talib Kweli and you just got kicked off Twitter and social media because every time somebody FBA or ADOS said something to you, you cried like a hoe. And through that crying like a hoe, Talib, you lost a lot of respect for people who loved you in 2015. People who loved you, I never did, but a lot of people who loved you in 2014, 2015, 2016, saw that by 2017, you act like a hoe. I'm not calling you a hoe. I'm not calling you that at all. I'm not calling you that. I'm sure you're a nice fella. But the way you behaved online was very hoe-like. And that's what got you kicked off social media. Then we find out further that you not from here. Your family goes back to other lands. Just like Drake's family goes back to other lands. And you bring that shit to black culture here in America. You got Talib Kweli siding with Fat Joe because he has an issue with FBA, and you got Drake crying like a hoe And the only people licking his tears is other weirdos from other places like DJ Academic. It's just weirdo fest in hip hop. And that's all whole shit. Hold'em has gotten somehow interweaving within the fabric of hip hop. So today's sermon is a discussion on protecting hip hop from these weirdos and hoes. Because the hoes are all over the place. We need to all come together and tell these people, don't be a hoe. Don't be a hoe. Don't be a hoe. Don't be a hoe. There's too many hoes in this shit. And we must rid it from the fabric. And one way we're going to out these hoes is by bringing back what black women name, with names like, Miss Gloria. Miss Gloria will tell you the truth and not give a fuck about how you feel. Black men named John Henry. Black men that would tell you like it is. Get up, stop crying like a little bitch. Scrape your knees off and get back to work. We got to bring that back. And that starts right here between you, me, us, we. We hold these people to the golden standard that black Americans hold one another to. And that's when you out of line, we talk about you like a motherfucking dog. Because we don't control the laws. We can't put you in jail. We don't even want to put you in jail. We're not going to do what white society did to get their society in check. See, when you go to the witch burnings in Salem, it was more than just because these women were witches. These were women that were associating with the black native people. White folks burned them in the 1700s at the stake. White men like John Brown, who were sympathizing with black people, got lynched. You go through the 1880s and the 1890s, white men that joined the Populist Party and got side by side with black people to get things in line, white people lynched them, burned them, ridiculed them. We as black people, we ain't gonna do all that. We ain't trying to kill you. But we can clown you. So I want to start today's sermon off by saying that I do not apologize if I hurt anybody's feelings. If your feelings get hurt, that was your voluntary reaction. I'm only here to tell the truth and to spread the word to the people who want to hear. And if that means your feelings get hurt because of something that we can verify with empirical evidence is true, then fuck you. With that being said, welcome chat room, welcome. 225 girl, appreciate y'all for joining. Quan S, appreciate you. Stalemate, Emmanuel Dark, Devin, and everybody else. I can't go down the line and get everybody. But welcome everybody. If I did not say your name, it's not because I don't love you. It's because I got a lot of shit to talk right now. And I want to get this done within hopefully within an hour. So I can get back to kicking it with my new doggy. And taking my little nigga around this sunny day in LA. I might take him to the beach today. We might go to the beach today. If we have time. Well, let's get into it. And please hit the like button, hit the share button. And if you're feeling like this Sunday morning donating to the ministry, hit the Cash App, $Dewan B1. It's pinned at the top of the chat. Or you can look right here and hit $Dewan B1. What's up, Scotty? What's up, 100% Rotten? Mark Anthony? Mr. H, I appreciate y'all for joining. So let's talk about this on this sunny day in LA. Hip hop, aka Black Society, DSB gifted another membership. I appreciate that. And also Quan, we're gonna do an Incense and Ashtrays tonight. Live music, you can catch it live, but this is gonna be an extended version. Is gonna be for Patreon. Patreon people are gonna get the whole show. You can join the Mixcloud or Twitter, and I will allow you to stream live on Mixcloud and Twitter. But the archive, along with the follow-up, is a Patreon exclusive. So tonight we're going to be going through talking about the beat and how the beat changed and why Black American beat is not African, why it's not European, why it's not Caribbean. And we're going to be breaking down the difference in the beats, but playing real music tonight. All right? So let's break it down. So let's start off with weirdos in hip hop. This right here got taken because I saw this video right here last week. This brother, Monster Nation, and salute to Monster Nation. I wasn't really familiar with his podcast, but I do like the way the brother was talking. He seemed like a very reasonable cat. Yeah. Appreciate that, DSB. Showing love in the Cash App soon, family. I appreciate that. So this brother, and I want to salute this brother. He had he said he got a call from Talib Kweli, breaking down the whole situation. And I'm not going to play his video. I encourage you to join his channel, Monster Nation. My first impression of him was somebody who seems to be balanced in his thought, And I think it'd be good for people to go back and watch this video, because a lot of Black people who understand what FBA is, we think that everybody do. And we got to understand that the term FBA and Foundation of Black Americans and what that really is, if you're not online, specifically Twitter and YouTube, you're probably out of the loop when it comes to that. And this brother does a good job explaining that. Oftentimes, you can get caught up in an echo chamber and think everybody knows what you know because of the world that you're in. I spend the majority of my social media time between Twitter and YouTube, and in that ecosystem, you get that a lot. But if you're outside that ecosystem, you probably don't know what it is. And so this brother went ahead and talked about it from the perspective of someone who didn't know totally what it was. And then you heard him break down what Talib said it was, and Talib basically said it was an anti-immigrant group. And basically, instead of going at Fat Joe, instead of going to these people trying to take the culture, Talib basically sided with them. And I also want to give a shout out for a breakdown to General Seti. A salute to Seti. Y'all know Seti here on YouTube. I like his channel too. Sarah Suit Seti. He had a good breakdown on this video last night too, talking about Talib Kweli. I love Seti. Seti be, no, that's that bullshit. He got that old Seti. Kind of like I ain't never met nobody Seti, but he the kind of cat that you want to smoke a blunt with just by the way he be talking about shit and breaking it down. So salute to General Seti too. I've been watching him for a long time here on YouTube. He did a great job talking about this video also. And go to Seti's video for a finer breakdown of what I'm talking about here. Appreciate the Cash App, Christopher Ellis. UBO, appreciate the Cash App. So go to this video to see the direct source, and then also go to Sarah Suit and Seti's channel. He did another fabulous job of breaking it down. But what you see here is somebody like a Talib done got kicked off Twitter, done got kicked off IG, And for those of you who know been following me for a long time, that nigga Talib trolled me for a minute on Twitter. Like back during the pandemic. It was something that somebody said, and they tagged him on my page, and that nigga went back and forth for like 2 weeks. And then the same thing on IG. Same thing on IG. He trolled somebody who follows me, and then, he was just acting just weird. And then like one of my homeboys had told me, he had a show about 2 years ago with Talib. And my homeboy brought up my name. He said Talib was acting like a goddamn weirdo. Man, fuck you, you're the one. And then I saw him at the comedy store last year. I know at one of the comedy clubs when Dave Chappelle was out here, and he was cool. He didn't say nothing to me. He didn't pop off all that shit he was popping off online. He was just cool. Maybe he didn't recognize me. I don't know. I didn't recognize him until somebody said, "Yo, that's Talib." I was like, "Oh yeah." But Brother Man is somebody who went from consciousness to weirdo-ness. And he has to jump around. And when he was on social media, jumping around and going ham on Black Americans for maintaining our culture. You said Jaguar. I didn't know Jaguar Wright had an experience with Talib. I'd be following her channel, but I didn't know she had an experience with him. Whatever she said, I believe it, because that nigga's fucking weird. And so you got somebody who, that's why you got to separate the artist from the person. The art from the person, because Talib is a good rapper. He never has been really my style, but a lot of people like him. So if a lot of people like you, I'm not going to say you trash, even though I don't listen to you. Talib personally could have never existed, and I wouldn't have missed him. But a lot of people love him, so I'm not going to shit on that. You can't deny the fact that he's loved is musically by a lot of people. But although he's musically loved by a lot of people, he's a fucking weirdo. Crashing out on women online and going around and getting mad at black people for coming together with our lineage, and people and siding with people like Fat Joe because you don't like a group of people that's defending their honor. It's fucking weird. Afro Troop just became a member. Salute. Oh, and also when I do my YouTube tonight, not YouTube, my show tonight on music, members, that video is gonna get uploaded to members. It's gonna go on YouTube, it's gonna go on Patreon, and members, but members can't get it live because live. Actually, what I'll do is I'll create a post with a link, with a live link just for members. But sometimes the YouTube link, they take it down and I got to re-upload it. But look for the post, members, for the music show tonight, all right? But yeah, Talib Kweli is not black. He's a tether. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. And now that black Americans are coming together. See, here's how you can identify a hoe. And somebody who does not like black Americans. You can identify somebody that does not like black Americans when they have an issue with black Americans coming together on our own term, whether they use ADOS, FBA, whatever term they use or we use. When people have an issue with that, that means they have an issue with black Americans, because Pan-Africans have no issues when people from Haiti or Guyana identify as themselves from being from the Dominican or anywhere else they're from in the diaspora. CARICOM has no issues with every country within CARICOM waving its flag. But they got an issue when black people do it. That's how you know they don't respect you. See, people are never gonna. Every now and again, it's the old days when the white man came out and just told you they didn't like you. That's not really the way it goes anymore. It does sometimes, but that's mostly the exception now. When people don't like you, they don't tell you they don't like you. They just have an issue when you stand up for yourself. That's how you know they don't like you. Because why would you have an issue with little old me? Or big ass me, whatever you want to call it. Why do you have an issue coming together? Somebody said, no, it's when you want to talk shit. Well, listen here, EP. Shit talk is part of black culture. Like my man Larry Goodwell says, his famous statement, if you grin, you in. What, you think you just gonna come and rap and listen and take the fun aspect of our culture, put it on your back, and think that the rest of it you just get leave behind? No, sir. No, sir. No, you get it all. This is how we treat each other. We got jokes on each other for real, for real. That's why black Americans are so ethnocentric. That's why we don't really care about y'all cultures. Because we be so busy making sure that we straight when we leave the house, because we know that we going to have another FBA that's going to clown us from head to toe if we ain't right. If we stink, if we playing some stupid, funny sounding music. If a black American in our own neighborhoods, when y'all not around, remember y'all moved into our neighborhoods. Remember that. Remember that. Y'all moved into our neighborhoods. And a foundational black American, when he leaves the house, is going to make sure his shit is right and tight. Not because he think he better than you, because we know we got 10 niggas between now and the corner. I got to go past Miss Johnson's house. That nigga Larry going to clown the shit out of me if my shoes are scuffed up. Then across the street, Maurice, he going to clown the fuck out of me if my clothes ain't ironed. And then that nigga James is going to clown the fuck out of me if my breath stink. And goddamn, that's the shit we deal with culturally every day. Nigga, I had to go to church and get caught the little fat boy at church. Nigga, black people get clowned at church. That's just our culture. Jamaicans call it toasting. It ain't just toasting, nigga. You get roasted by your Aunt Maxine so fast. So, you guys decided to come here. Deal with it. You think that we gonna stop being... Matter of fact, we did stop being... We gave you motherfuckers a pass for the last, 40 years? Allow you to come in the culture without getting... You niggas are still mad at being called African booty scratcher. Nigga, I got called African booty scratcher and I'm from California. Come on, let's tell the truth, chat. African booty scratcher is what people called you when they ran out of other good jokes. That's all it was. African booty scratcher was just the lowest common denominator joke. If I didn't have nothing else funny to say, we called you an African booty scratcher, whether you were from Africa or not. And you niggas is 60 still holding on to that shit. You didn't loin? You didn't loin? That's what our grandparents say. Granddaddy didn't say learn. Granddaddy said loin. You didn't loin? So, somebody said, terrible culture. No, but you're in our chat. So it must be a beautiful culture. See, as you see on my Black American Music Family tree, stand up, when I blow it up, see right there where it says stand-up comedy? Stand-up comedy was birthed in the same juke joints as the soul, as blues, jazz, soul music, pop. The culture that you love called hip-hop was born out of this culture. That's why so many hip hop songs are funny. That's why so many jokes and clowning in hip hop. Appreciate the cash app, LaRonda. Out of that joking and clowning comes the music. You see how it all works together? Clowning and joking is what made the music pop. Like, that's like battle, the whole battle culture. Songs like this.
Yeah.
Before there was battle rap, there was battle funk.
Everybody funkin' and don't know how. They should have seen the bull when he funked the cow.
It funked it so hard it starts to smoke. This is Funkadelic and a song called Let's Take It to the Stage. Appreciate the super chat. He said your grandfather used to say, say, I'm gonna loin you. Yeah, that's right. We're gonna loin you. Look at all the bands that they're calling out.
Hey, Smoofers.
Hey, Sloofers. Tell me something good. That's Funkadelic calling out Rufus and Shaka Khan. Slick and the Family Brick. They're calling out Sly and the Family Stone. This is black music. This is where the culture of hip hop comes out of. See, you tether motherfuckers only started at hip hop. That's why you confused. All of these cultural norms that you see in hip hop are already in existence. Talking out, look, he says, talk about you, the Godfather. Godmother. Talking about Godmother. Talking shit. Talking about James Brown. And that's where they got the funk from. But they still clowning them.
Smuff it, set on the tuffet, snorting some TAC. Long came a spider, slid down beside her. Say, what's in the bag, bitch?
Oh, let me tell you how deep this goes. Andrew Dice Clay. You know Andrew Dice Clay stole that line and turned it into a stand-up? Y'all heard that line? This is how deep our comedy goes. That clip from Parliament Funkadelic, that part of that song, Let's Take It to the Stage, where they're clowning. Y'all remember this bit from Andrew Dice Clay? Watch this bit.
Well, Miss Muffet sat on a tuffet, eating a curds and whey. Long came a Spidey, sat down beside, he said, hey, what's in the bowl, bitch? Oh!
Yeah, the white boy stole that. But he got it from the funk. Andrew Dice Clay went around the world with that bit.
TAC. Long came a spider, slid down beside her. Say, what's in the bag, bitch? She said,
on Patreon, y'all gonna get the full thing tonight. That's how deep it goes. See, you tenors don't want to fuck with me. Alright? Because I know the culture. You don't. So every little thing you bitch and moan about, I got 15 examples to shut your punk ass down. Fall in line, niggas. This is cultural. Look, they said, "A fool in the game," calling out cool in the game. Or the lyrics ain't up here. Damn it. Damn it.
Oh! Get up off of that thing and shake the...
Because even in this song, Get Up Off of That Thing, they calling out Barry White. Barry who? He clowning Barry White in this song. It ain't nothing personal. It's cultural. That's what we do. We clown. So y'all decided y'all want to end on the culture. Well, you're in now. All right? You're in. You're in. If you want to know what Talib said, rewind back to the beginning. We done talking about Talib. Because now we on to Drake. Talib sided with Fat Joe saying that black talking shit about black Americans. That's what he did. Anybody cool with anybody siding with Fat Joe can kiss my ass too. So speaking further on about hoe ass shit, Drake came out with a whole goddamn song crying about losing his friendship with LeBron James.
I love you.
Yeah. The summer is over, I missed it. Barrel was smoking, I kissed it. Fair showed us the renters for Texas, it's unrealistic. Cut him the check cause I hate reviewing the budgets and limits.
Let me say something. I never understood how y'all fell in love with Drake's cadence. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. 1 EN, 2 EN, 2 EN, 4 EN, 16th note. 1 EN, 2 EN, 3 EN, 4 EN, 16th note. That's his cadence. 1 EN, 2 EN, 3 EN, 4 EN, 16th note. 3 EN, 4 EN, 2 EN, 16th note. Everything is the same thing. I'm a drummer, so I always get patterns. And Drake has always had the most effortless, listless pattern I've ever heard of any fucking rapper. I don't know how you niggas accepted this shit for 15 years.
Just pay the man. The world fell in love with the gimmicks. Even my brothers got tickets. Seemed like they loved every minute. Just know the shit is personal to us and it wasn't just business. Analyzing behavioral patterns is somewhat suspicious. Niggas was never happy for me when I run up the digits. Oh.
Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da.
When I'm breaking world records still as I guzzle a Guinness. Or when
like the dude just gets words and fits it in the da 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 da. I remember back in the days when Bone Thugs and Harmony was saying things you could never repeat. I'm gonna miss somebody. That was the only thing I could say from Bone Thugs and Harmony. And I'm gonna miss somebody. You couldn't keep up with rap back in the 80s and the 90s. And this is your king?
I get my fifth made back cause the color is different. Remember we traded watches, I gave you the Arabic dial, you gave me a numbered edition. You would even check up on my son like a pediatrician.
You wouldn't even check up on my son like a pediatrician? This is what I mean by weirdos have infiltrated hip hop. This is the dude that y'all, not me, because I never bought one fucking Drake album. I gave everything one spin, and it was like, this is so remedial. It was some of the most remedial music I ever heard in my fucking life. But this is who y'all push to the top. And this lonely ass nigga. And this is what happens when tethers to our culture are allowed in. I'm not calling all immigrants that come to the game tethers, but god damn it, between y'all being quiet about Fat Joe, supporting Fat Joe, and supporting Drake, it's looking bad on all y'all. It's looking bad on every immigrant rapper because name the immigrant rapper not named Cuban Link that's coming out and saying something against Fat Joe. Or siding, and all these motherfuckers is siding with Drake and this remedial ass shit. Since when does this heartfelt, non-heart having ass bullshit get accepted into hip hop? Yes, it is who they push, but a lot of people accepted it too. Just because they push it don't mean you got to accept it. And a lot of black people accepted it. That's just true. Appreciate that, DSB. They pushed this motherfucker on us and a lot of people accepted it. A lot of people accepted it. Let me see here. Hey, Larry, call in. Before I get to my last part. So this is what we dealing with when you allow these monsters into it. Talib is a fucking creep based off of what's been reported, not off of anything in my experience. And Drake is a fucking creep based off what's being reported and based off what we observed with that nigga. I hear what you're saying, but black rappers aren't the ones that allowed him to be the king. It's the industry. But it does look bad, Makiba, on all the black rappers that did continue to work with him after a long period of time, because Drake came up off partnering with black rappers, of being featured off the hottest dudes at the time. But, a lot of niggas want that hit. You got rappers like The Game who are unwilling to side for what he knows right, because he's still looking for that hit with Drake. Well, that hit ain't coming now because Drake is done. And speaking about somebody who's done, especially after I whoop his ass, I got Larry on the phone.
What? Is there another nigga named Larry on this phone you can whoop? Because damn sure ain't me, bitch.
Nigga, I'll beat your ass from pillar to post. Then grab the mic and climb you because I'm the host.
Oh, no.
Yeah, nigga. Yeah, nigga, that rhyme was right on time, and you ain't nothing but a bucket of slime.
Hey, man, stop rapping like that, dog. Your new dog ain't gonna respect you if you keep rapping in front of him.
Nah, I'm gonna
fight you, nigga.
Nigga, I'm gonna show my dog a picture of you every day, and I'm gonna put your picture on his piss pad, so that way when you come to LA, he know to piss on your shoes.
That's all right. And I'm going to sell him to an Asian family. I told you I'm going to sell him to an Asian family. He going to be on the goddamn platter fucking with me.
Hey, that's fucked up. No, that's fucked up. Nigga said an Asian family. Hey, but it's halfway true, though. Gloves off on everybody. Everybody think they can come in our culture. Gloves off on everybody. Everybody getting clowned. Fuck that shit.
Oh yeah, they gonna catch it straight too. Because I don't like how well they break dance. Fuck them.
Hey dog. So what you got? Cats like Talib, cats like Drake. All of these. What you think about all these goddamn weirdos who've gotten into hip hop over the last 20 years?
Oh man, I'm really trying to pinpoint when that shit became acceptable, because hip hop was one way. It was revolutionary, and then then it splintered off, and then it was street shit, and it splintered off in the the Daisy Age with De La Soul and all that. But then it got really, really, I say within the last, let me see, I said maybe 15 to 17 years, it got really weird and whiny and gay. Like I just remember when Kanye came out, and I love Kanye, but it gave like weirdos like, oh yeah,
you're right.
He speaks
Kanye, one of my
like,
them college dropout, graduation, the late registration, all great albums, but it ushered in a whole new crowd to hip hop. You right about that.
Yeah, and so they like it was Ye, and then I'm trying to think what. Oh, and then 2009 is when So Far Gone came out. That's when that Drake mixtape came out, and like after that, because I was jamming the shit out that mixtape, and then after that, like maybe 2 or 3 years later, I just noticed like it got real whiny and gay, and I'm not saying you're not supposed to dedicate songs to women, because straight men are, but nigga, you're not even.
It's the way you do it.
Songs to women.
Like LL did "I Need Love," but that song wasn't gay. You know?
No, it wasn't. No,
Snoop
no.
and Pharrell, "Gotta Have a Girl Like You." That wasn't sissified. You know?
No,
but,
and it's because those guys actually liked women, so they made songs for women that they liked, wanted to get with.
True.
Drake makes songs dedicated to women like they BFF, like they bestie, like go ahead, bad bitch, like I'm your best friend. Let's go out for drinks. Let's go out for martinis and watch Sex in the City later on this week. That's what he said. That's what his shit sounds like. He's not making songs for women he wants to fuck. He's making songs for women he wants to be. And that's when the shit got really weird.
Drake making songs for women he want to go buy purses for and not have any relations with.
Yeah, like no new friends. Like I guarantee you, he was in the studio rolling his deck and snapping his fingers, and when he was making that song, like no new friends. That sounds like a woman.
Nigga, no new friends is like the simp version of Who Runs the World? Girls, Who Runs the World? Like, come on. All the single ladies, nigga. That's a weirdo single ladies. That's a lonely nigga version of single ladies.
About single niggas. He just needs to come out with a song called "Single Niggas," dog. Like, man, I don't get it, but I'm enjoying seeing his downfall. I said it on the first episode of my podcast. I said we are witnessing the downfall of Aubrey Graham, and people was in the comments like, "No, we not something wrong with you." And look, I'm a fucking prophet, bitch. This nigga is not going to make it out of 2025. His name is going to end up being a verb like you got mossed,
you got Drake.
Oh, that nigga get Drake. You over there draking, and it's gonna be negative. It's not gonna be anything positive, man. You over there draking. Draking rhymes with caking. It's gonna be worse than caking.
Yeah, man. That's what I'm about to do. I'm about to show my list before I get you on the phone, because I'm telling people right now what it is in 2025. I got a list of people I'm pissing off. I'm gonna see if you want to add to this year. This is the list of groups that are gonna be pissed off at me this year. People who think, and I hold no apologies for you dickheads out there who don't like it. People who think hip hop is New York culture, y'all gonna hate me by the end of the year. People who think all of our music comes from Africa, y'all not gonna like me. People who think all of our music comes from the South, you're not gonna like me. Tethers, Pan-Africans, white people, and Latinos are all going to have issues because I'm about to tell the motherfucking truth about what it is, supported with facts and evidence. Anybody need to add to that list?
Yeah, I should be number one because, nigga, I hate you. So I'm number one.
Man, pissing you off, nigga, that's easy. Like, I'm talking about people who matter. I ain't talking about hoe-ass niggas with bitch-ass beards.
Okay. Man, I think you pretty much covered it, but I just don't like the way you pronounce Latino.
They over here trying to come for low riding, man. Fuck that. They trying to come from low riding on the West Coast and hip hop on the East. That's a problem.
I got somebody to add to the list.
Who?
The Divine Nine.
Oh yeah, the Divine Nine. All them frats and sororities. Yeah, Divine Nine people should be added to this because ain't none of them Divine Nine people right now doing nothing to organize while Trump is in office. They did all that. Trump is gonna make everything worse. Okay, where are you Divine Nine motherfuckers at now? You got 4 years to organize. You got 2 years to get a really good candidate, and then another 2 years to really run that candidate for the 2028 election. What are y'all doing, Divine Nine? And I'll tell you what y'all doing. Y'all passing around they passing around all them goddamn STDs they got in college. That's what they doing.
Man, golly, dog. But I mean, there was so many people. Excuse me, there was so many people telling us vote for my Rock because you don't want the other guy to get in because if he does, then Project 2025 is going to be in the play. We're all going to be slaves. Well, what's today? Today's January 5th. We got 15 more days before we have to report to slavery. What you niggas doing about it?
They ain't doing a motherfucking thing. I tell you what they doing. They sitting around doing nothing while Elon Musk and that Trump and the H-1B visa program comes to take out all their goddamn government jobs on the East Coast. And they going to be sitting right here with the rest of us like Dr. Claude Anderson said.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to add them to the list. I think you pretty much covered it, dog. I think you pretty much covered it.
All right, cool.
I think you
So this list plus the Divine Nine, that's who y'all this year. If you stuck on your point of view and you're not willing to learn and expand your mind, you're not gonna fucking like me. All right, just letting y'all know that right now. Just like Larry don't like me because he know I can whoop his ass anytime I goddamn feel like it.
I mean, I feel sorry for you for thinking that. That's why I'm your friend, because I know there's something wrong with you, dog. I feel like I gotta protect you, dog. You can't fight. You can't defend yourself, dog. You a bitch. That's why you got the dog. You think that dog gonna protect you? Is not. I'm gonna kick your ass and sell it to Chung Ching Lo, and then it's gonna be a wrap. But anyway, before I get phone,
what the fuck?
Hey, y'all keep supporting the wild man. Keep flooding this cash app, all that shit, man.
Oh, tell him. Hey, Ramaswamy, tell him about your podcast.
Oh yeah. I have a podcast with my buddies, Jay Cat. It's called The Old Man and the G. So please subscribe and y'all keep supporting Dewan's bitch ass, dog, until I kill him.
Hey, get the fuck off my phone, nigga.
Yeah, ho.
You see, you fucking tethers. That's how we communicate culturally. You niggas grand, so y'all in. I don't want to hear none of y'all crying about, the Black Americans was talking about me. So what? Your shoes is scuffed up. Why not? Coming up here with goddamn creased Air Force Ones, thinking that you just gonna be accepted. No, motherfucker. That's how we talk to each other. And if you don't like it, go listen to fucking reggae. If you don't like it, go listen to reggae tone. Your culture has plenty of good music. I fucks with soca. I fucks with calypso. I fucks with it. If you don't want to get clown, you got a whole island of music to listen to. See, that's the thing, black people. This is the thing. We as black Americans, we create some stuff in our own image and likeness. We don't mind other people coming. But if we go into their shit, they're either going to have an issue with it or they won't acknowledge it. I said something earlier on my Twitter. I put up this post. Said, if FBA wanted to flex, let me turn my music back on. The post said if FBA really wanted to flex, we could talk about how Stevie Wonder really is the one that introduced Bob Marley to the world. Why did I say that? Because Bob Marley's first world tour was in 1974, right when Stevie Wonder was coming off of his string of hits, The first one was Fulfilling This Is First Finality, Inner Visions, and what album is this? Talking Book. When Stevie Wonder was on top of the world, he brought Bob Marley on the road with him. And you see, I got a whole lot of immigrants that was mad at me for talking about this. A whole lot. Engagement farming at its finest. No. A lot of these motherfuckers was mad when I said this. So I backed it up. These are the truths that you can expect to come out this year. And I'm going to get with Dr. Randy Short, and we're going to go even deeper on this. And while we're here, make sure y'all go to blisscapsules.com. Blisscapsules.com. Type in the product code DeJuan B. Buy 2, get 1 for free. Go to blisscapsules.com. The Amanita mushrooms is good for just getting you up and high. You dig? Blisscapsules.com. And also go to DeJuanB.com, because what you're gonna need to do, and I got an update for my people on the GoFundMe, because we still moving forward with the documentary. But if you go to if you go to DeJuanB.com, you can get the hoodie. It's the wintertime. You need to get this hoodie from Dr. John Henry Clark. Black people don't owe anybody anything but an ass whooping. Black people don't owe anybody anything but an ass whooping. Get this hoodie and shirt right now at DeJuanB.com. All right? Also get the Black American Music Family Tree, because you're going to want this on your chest. Because just say you out and you talk and you see a tether and they be like, hip hop is New York culture. You're going to be like, nope. You're going to be able to zoom in right here and be like, no. Hip hop, it shows this tree is also a flow chart. It's also a flow chart. And it's showing you the genres that were more blues based and the ones that are more jazz based, and how they all come together and converge at the top of the tree to create this thing called hip hop. Out of the blues, you get the rock and the roll. And out of the rock and roll, that funk kind of came. And out of the jazz side, you got the rhythm and the blues, the disco that came out of that. Jazz, country western. This tree is a flow chart on the history of Black American music. Get it right now at DeJuanB.com. So then, back to what I was saying. I made this post, and this post pissed a lot of people off. Do y'all know who Johnny Nash is? Y'all know who Johnny Nash is? Y'all all have heard Johnny Nash's breakout song, biggest hit.
Can see clearly now, the rain is gone.
Remember that song?
It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day.
That's Johnny Nash. Do you know that Johnny Nash opened and created, he used his money from his hits and created JAD Records. And that was the first record label to sign Bob Marley and the Wailers to a contract. It was a Black American that took his music and invested it in Jamaica. See, you could talk all you want about influence this, influence that. But who's putting the money up? Who believes in your sound enough to invest and put their reputation and name on the line for you. It was a black American named Johnny Nash. And because he had already had hits, he used his influence not only in the United States of America, but also in Europe to open the door for Bob Marley and the Wailers. You ever talk about how Bob Marley made a whole song dedicated to black Americans, Buffalo Soldiers, fighting for survival, fighting on arrival, right? Appreciate that girl Shine. So it was this black man. Without this black man, you probably never hear of Bob Marley nor the Wailers. And it was the song Sunshine Day that came out in 1972 that really pushed music from Jamaica to the world and opened the door to the world. For the world, he used his foundational black American cachet and equity to put it on the lines for Jamaica. This is Pan-Africanism at its best. And that's why Pan-Africans are on my hit list to get shitted on. Coming to me with that bullshit talking about, we're black Americans, we been Pan-Africanists. When is the shit gonna get returned? What African or Jamaican, y'all might talk about all you work hard and you make more money in America than black people, fine. When are y'all gonna invest in something that's gonna restore what white supremacy took from us? Our choirs, our live bands, our sauce that makes the music what it is. When are the Africans and the Caribbeans gonna kick in? The way Johnny Nash kicked in. That's a legitimate question to the Pan-Africanists. Johnny Nash wasn't wealthy. He didn't have it all, but he had faith in Jamaican. He had faith in Jamaican music. So he invested it and used it, his name and his reputation, to make it happen. See, when I talk about this, I'm saying it because we're establishing the fact that work has already been done. Money's already been deposited in the bank. When do black Americans get to cash out on it? But instead, we got Busta Rhymes, Talib Kweli, Drake, and all of these people coming around, still cashing big checks off of our sacrifice without putting the work in to kick in. So what I need you guys to do, anybody who disagree with what I'm saying, you jump to the front of the line. Call in 323-744-7425. If you disagree with anything that I said, or you have any questions based off what I said, I am opening the phone lines for you to call in. I'm waiting on one of y'all to call in. Anybody who has an issue. Anybody gonna call? There's a lot of y'all in the chat that was talking shit. All right, since they don't want to call, anybody else can call in. I opened the line first for people who disagreed, who had an issue. You got first dibs to call in. There was a lot of y'all in the chat talking shit, but here's the phone line, 323-744-7425. I'm waiting. I am waiting. Why have we never got anybody from the Caribbean to thank Johnny Nash? Why has that never happened? What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
What's up, Dwan? This is Bud calling from down in Miami.
Spud from down in Miami. What's on your mind, my brother?
Hey, I just want to know the Caribbean or African Gil Scott-Heron. Gil Scott-Heron took time out of his day to raise awareness for apartheid that was going on in South Africa. Just name me the African or Caribbean artist or entertainer that's publicly on their platform raising awareness for Black Americans' reparation cause. That's all.
That's a really good question. Where is the equivalent, man? Thanks for giving us a call.
My bad. One last thing, Dewan. You was talking about Stevie Wonder on your Twitter today too. Same thing. Stevie Wonder. Same thing.
Apartheid. That was Stevie Wonder that played a big old role in Nelson Mandela being free. He put Nelson Mandela's cause in front of the world. And where is a thank you? We ain't got a thank
today
you.
Like Tyler. We got artists today like Tyler who has lyrics saying, "I don't need no reparations, boy." Like what? Like for you to pull that word out of your vocabulary and to use it in today's time, you got to start reading the room.
Real talk, man. I appreciate that's a good perspective you just brought, man. Thanks for giving us a call. He right. We gave them Stevie Wonder. They gave us Tyler. I had it on quiet.
Revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be televised.
The revolution will not be televised. Where is y'all version of Gil Scott-Heron? What's up, caller? What's the name? Where you calling from?
This is Yoda, man. I'm calling from the great Midwest, Chicagoland region, Northwest Indiana, Gary, all that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's on your mind?
I like what you're doing, man. I like the cut of your jib. You representing, young man. I appreciate it. I come before the hip-hop era, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Before it even, especially before it was happening in New York, okay? And essentially, if New Yorkers were smart, they could end this argument by just saying James Brown. Or they could end it by just going into the distant past, but they can't even speak up for foundational Black Americans, man. That's a real, it's almost New York against the whole rest of the United States foundational Blacks.
Right.
It's a weird vibration, and it's very turncoat. It is cowardly, and it's provincial, and it's ours is better than yours. Well, we're talking about uniting here, because truth be told, Stevie Wonder, the great Stevie Wonder, the great Michael Jackson, the great Prince, the great James Brown, and on and on and on. Ain't none one of them from New York.
Not a
and
one.
If I'm going to, you see what I'm saying? In Motown ain't from New York. Stacked Vote ain't from New York. Philly International ain't from New York.
Chess Records.
Right? Exactly. Chess Records.
And think about it like this. When Motown left Detroit, they didn't move. They could have moved to New York. They moved to LA. If New York was that popping, why didn't Motown move to New York?
Exactly. You know, it goes so much deeper than these New Yorkers want to admit. They don't realize, man, that Michael Jackson, the Jackson 5, I don't think they get enough credit because people think so much about Mike, as well they should. Arguably the greatest entertainer to ever live. But in the heyday of the Jackson 5, they established themselves as the greatest boy band, so to speak, of all history. Because it wasn't just the lead singer the way it is with all these groups ever since the Jackson 5. It was Jermaine playing that bass live. It was Tito playing that guitar live. It was the brothers singing harmony live. Wasn't no adults in the background singing all the parts. It was them 5 brothers. It was the brother from Hammond, Indiana, who I actually know. I grew up with him. He's a few years older than me, Roderick Rancifer on organ. And it was Johnny Jackson, not related to the Jackson 5, on drums. 7 people under 20 years old outselling the Beatles in concert. That's how bad them cats were. And where were they from? Gary, Indiana.
You know, I want to expound on the point you just made. About a year ago, I asked my father-in-law this question. I said, when y'all was doing music with the Jackson 5 when they were kids, I said, because he wrote the vocal arrangements. I said, did you write the vocal arrangements any less than or different than you would have for the Temptations or Marvin Gaye, any of the other groups or singers in Motown? He said no. He said Jackson 5 when he did Dancing Machine and when he did I'll Be There. He said I wrote the parts. He said the parts were the parts because you know the way Motown did it. They would write a song and then they would cut it. The Temptations would get a shot at it. The Jackson 5 would get a shot at it. The Four Tops get a shot at it. They would put it across different groups. Yes. And then you had different production teams like Norman Whitfield would try to pin hits on the Jackson 5. He couldn't get hits with Jackson 5, but he got most of his hits with the Temptations. Mr. Carmichael and Hal Davis would get most of their hits with the Jackson 5s, not the Temptations. So I asked him in that environment, did the Jackson 5, because they were kids, did they get anything softened for them? And he said no. The music was the music. And those 15-year-old kids were held to the same standard as the Temptations. Do people know how great the fucking Temptations were for these kids to get sheet music that's on par with the Temptations? That show you how powerful these cats were.
Very powerful. They're us. They were us. Those were the first black kids I saw on television. I'm the same age as Mike. It was a miracle to see them brothers. And somebody will probably come behind me saying, well, the Motown Funk Brothers played the music in the studio. Yes, but my caveat is in concert, it was the Jackson 5 and 2 other cats. That's it. I saw the concert. I was at Save the Children in Chicago for Black X. I was there. I was at Gary Westside when the Jokers played the first tour.
And playing live is harder because you don't get a second chance.
Exactly. And we sitting there, all of us were in little bands back then. Everybody tried to play some kind of instrument. And we would study the instrumentation that Tito and Jermaine were throwing down. I mean, Tito was working that wah-wah pedal, playing that Sly Stone and Hendrix stuff. Look at these cats. And, so it goes back so much further and so much deeper than New York can even fathom. It's deeper, bruh. It's deeper. I saw it in person. You see, and so that's all I want to really accentuate here. Speaking of the harmony of the Jackson 5, or the harmony vocals. Now, of course, the Silvers were even beyond that. They had 5 and 6 bar harmony, but
yes,
back
they
to
did.
the Jacksons, you know what I'm saying? But back to the Jacksons. Here is the litmus test for boy bands. Have you ever heard New Edition, NSYNC, New Kids on the Block, and God forbid BTS? Have you ever heard them sing a cappella harmony? No.
Couldn't.
No.
Not at that age.
Yet go to the internet and look at the Jackson 5 sing a song that they would thank the audience. It was a tradition. They would thank the audience by saying, "We will thank you. We thank you." And then they would harmonize and blend. You ain't never seen New Edition or none of them do that. None of them.
Not Jodeci, none of them.
None of them. Them cats had talent, man. And it wasn't just Mike, y'all. Them jokers had talent.
Right. The way they to dance and sing and play, people don't even know.
Unreal, brother. It was a miracle. But it's us. We claim them as us, not just the region. That's what they call Northwest Indiana, the region, right by Chicago. It wasn't just us, but we know that it was a universal, foundational Black American theme. You know, Black Expo in Chicago was about us.
Yep.
Which means any Black person from America, bro.
Real talk, man. Thanks for giving us a call. I appreciate that wisdom. Yes, sir. What's up, caller? 1 second. Alonzo Frazier, appreciate the super chat. Love from Florida. I appreciate that. Fela Speaks said the work you're doing right now, exposing all the FBA rules of musicology is so important. I appreciate that, Fela Speaks. I appreciate that. The Sunshine Girl said, talk about Bob Marley, whole crew, that Buffalo Soldier. Yeah. And then Go-Go wrote, Grandmaster Yoda was on Red Supreme's panel last week. That's what's up. That's what's up, man. I appreciate everybody for calling in, everybody listening. All right, what's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what's going on? It's Najee from New Jersey.
Najee from
New
Jersey.
When we speak about what's going on, when we speak about New York, we got to speak about New York in the context of the newer generation because, you know, I'm in my 40s, so I grew up listening to Kiss FM, WBLS, and Tume was a regular on Kiss FM. So when you talk about New York and New York music, you know what I mean, kind of like that bravado and the arrogance are coming from the newer generation, not the older generation who I came up under and listened to. And being from New Jersey, you know what I mean, you would think like New Jersey is, you know, in proximity to New York, but New Jersey has two different cultures. So if you're from East Orange and Newark, you're in proximity to New York. If you're in Camden, Central Jersey, Trenton, you're more in proximity of Philly. So, but New Jersey kind of like takes from both cities, from the South, Philly, from the North, New York, but New Jersey always had its own distinct identity. You know what I'm saying? But even when we talk about Talib Kweli, and I have my encounters with Talib Kweli on social media, you know, on Twitter, you know what I'm saying? This dude even went out of his way to dox me, like found information and put it on Twitter. And I'm like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, wow, like this is this
weirdo.
Is supposed to be a conscious rapper, you know what I'm saying? So now what this kind of revealed is, I can't really speak to the music piece, but a lot of the consciousness in hip hop, a lot of these conscious dudes, what I would say the exception of, you know, Professor Griff, all of that was like, it seems like it was all performative consciousness. It was performative because now that you kind of like getting up close to these guys and you're like, wow, these guys really ain't as conscious as we thought they were, you know? So, you know, to hear them speak and to hear them talk and you just kind of like, you know, you're thinking like, you know, these are the people that's in the rooms of these execs. They're also rubbing shoulders, you know, with Clinton. You remember Sister Soldier, you know, in the early 90s when, you know, she was smeared by, you know, Bill Clinton And I think the industry did a great job of weeding out the Sister Soldiers, the Professor Griffs, and replaced it with more of performative, conscious arts. You know what I'm saying? So in their music, they're conscious, but in these boardrooms, they're not conscious. You know what I'm saying? So, so it was kind of easy to come in and just kind of like usurp the music and give us the music and hip hop that we have today. But I really think it's important when we talk about the East Coast, you just basically have to separate New York City as a whole, because the East Coast encompasses everything from Boston to Connecticut to Northeast Orange, New Jersey to Virginia, et cetera, et cetera. The New York City has always had a reputation and always had this kind of like arrogance and bravado, like, I'm from New York, you know what I'm saying? And basically coming from Newark, New Jersey, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of times when New York guys come to Newark, they tone that down a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Because there's a whole different culture, and, you'll get sent back across the Hudson, but for the most part, the older generation of New Yorkers, you know what I'm saying, they were different. This new wave of New York guys with the arrogance, the Fat Joes, you know what I'm saying, that's we gotta separate the age, you know what I'm saying, the age demographic when we talk about people from New York. It's not the whole entirety of New York. It's those cats.
I appreciate that, brother, for that information, man. Thanks for giving us a call. Yes, sir. So yeah, I do see the generational divide. I do, and like what that brother just did, that's gonna be on you New Yorkers to check other New Yorkers. The rest of us ain't really got the time to decipher and distinct. We're gonna need y'all to step up like that brother just did calling in. We're gonna need more brothers like him to get up and check your fellow New Yorkers. That's what we gonna need, because the rest of the country's tired of y'all of New York taking credit when 98% of the sauce that y'all use was created outside of New York. 99% of the sauce was created outside of New York. And so the rest of us, we gonna just do some checking. And we gonna need our New York brothers and sisters to y'all be the ones that deal with the details on who is who. So the rest of us can get back to going to the business of giving credit to the whole of Black America when it comes to this sound. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
What's up, Don? Shout out to you. This is Jay Stone out here in OC. I just wanted to bring to your attention some dumb Puerto Rican bitch called Tina Torres or whatever. She was defending Fat Joe and saying all kind of weird, dumb shit. Red Supreme did a broadcast earlier about her whole ass, so I just want to
saw that. I appreciate that. I saw that Red Supreme was live. I didn't get to go watch it, so I'm glad you called in. Hey, y'all go check out Red Supreme show on Tina Flores, because I meant to go. I was going to watch it, but this morning I got to playing some Ohio players, and I was in the music like, hey, and I didn't get to it. But y'all go and check out, because I'm gonna check out Red Supreme's show on that. So I don't want to step on his toes and cover that, because that brother, I know when I go back and watch it, it's going to be a masterful cover, deep breakdown of who she is. So I appreciate you for letting us know that.
For sure, brother. Peace.
Yes, sir. Peace. Yeah, here at this channel, we give love and show love. It's enough space for everybody to be loved, man. Salute to Black Alpha. Salute to Sincere to God. Sincere Love to God. His show. Lord Jamar's show. Cuban Link. Red Supreme. Salute to all these. I know I'm forgetting some names. But yeah, TD Hip Hop Media. Thought Crimes. Thought Crimes. Man, salute. There's a lot of great people out here doing some great informative information, and everybody's putting in on this whole thing. Sarah Suit Seti. Salute to everybody that's putting in on it. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hi, my name is Destiny, and I'm from Ohio, and I'm pretty young too. And I've mostly been tapping into a lot of different people that my soul connects to, that is going to give me insight on what I feel is coming up. But I feel like this is a bigger picture thing where, you know, funk came out of the Midwest. You got the Motown music that came out of the Midwest. You got the West Coast sound. You got the down south sound. You got the New York sound. All of it together, all of it is an expression of our Black culture in America. All of it. It all connected. Like, I feel like a lot of people are getting stuck in the nuances, like who did it first, when did it, Like, I feel like that's the play, that's the runaround for us to get distracted. Because I feel like all in all, we all need to take back our voice in general.
You're right.
Because it's beyond hip hop. It's beyond that. This is like our extension of ourselves, like our soul embodied into music, or our soul embodied into art in general. Because hip hop just ain't like, we go back, they like to get us into just music, but if we go back, our culture was extensive in all different types of art form, poetry, art, dance, all different types of shit. That's what we good at. Singing, choir, that's what we good. We're great at creating. We are creator beings. And I just feel like something is going on to where they're trying to deter, they're trying to steer, they're trying to hijack something. Because we are all coming up and saying the same thing, but somebody is hijacking something to make us feel like we have to have validation in other areas to get our mind off of what our heart and our soul is going to. Because that's what I feel in general.
And here's why you feel that. There is that because, and here's the reason why I do this kind of conversation. I have these conversations. It is for your generation and younger, because you guys didn't hear a lot of this stuff. It's because my OGs passed it down to me. And when we truly know, like what you're saying, the full breadth and the greatness in what we do, you know what comes after that? A responsibility of ownership and controlling. And nobody in the world wants us to know that we have something valuable. We as Black Americans have been taught for so many years that we're worthless, we're nothing. We just came from slavery, Martin Luther King, and the only great Black person is Michael Jordan. That's what we've been told our whole lives. And so when you believe that about yourself, you give what you create away. Because if you don't see the value in yourself, if you don't see the value in the culture and what you create, you give it away. And it's to every white, racist, to every white supremacist on the planet.
Who got the highest dollar? We're literally pimping ourselves at that point. Whoever got the highest dollar.
It's in their best interest that we sell low, or they can just take. When we raise the cultural esteem, and once we understand the awareness of how great we are from coast to coast, that's why I'm on this mission of, I'm targeting New York. New York is in my crosshairs because there's so many problems coming out of New York with its own regional bullshit.
Yep, they're one of the first big places that had a voice. But how did they really get that voice though? Because they
got it because that's where the media is. That's New York
connected with them people.
That too, but yeah, in New York is where media is centered, and so since that's where media is centered, they got their word out, and the whole point is to do that so everyone else can get a piece of our shit. The minute we hold on to our shit and say, you know what, you can have it, but we gonna sell it to you. We're not gonna give it to you. Everybody else is fucked up. So you got to understand it's in their best interest to keep us in this position. But go ahead, you get the last word.
I appreciate the knowledge that you just gave me too as well. I appreciate the channel I'll be tapping into. I don't be commenting too much, but I tap in and I try to absorb as much knowledge as I can without getting lost in the comments and stuff. So if you don't see me there, that's why. But I really feel like as a whole, Black people that were born bred in America, I feel like we need to know that it's okay to have something. It's okay to say no. It's okay to say, this is mine. It's okay to say, I have a culture. It's okay to say, I deserve saying I have a culture. It's okay to say, nah, that's not it. Because what we do, we leave school and then we learn about all the shit that the shit that we was not told in school that is real life, and we go about our lives and we let shit like, stuff like this happen. And we be so modest. I like to say we are modest, even though we boastful a little bit. We are modest in ways that matter. And I feel like we need to. We've been modest long enough. We learned that lesson. So I feel like we learned how to not be arrogant. We learned how to not be arrogant. So when we do put our foot forward or we do put our foot down, it's not out of arrogance because we already learned how to be modest. Not saying these other cultures didn't learn how to be modest, but we have to. That's bred in our household.
Yep. Be humble, sit down. There's a reason why that was a popular song by Kendrick. But thanks for giving us a call.
Yep, thank you.
Much appreciated. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she right. I do this for that next generation. I didn't get to see this stuff happening in real time like we saw it. They got to be left with the breadcrumbs. Appreciate that. J. Dolph says, respect one of my stories, much love and respect. Much respect to you, J. Dolph. Yeah, that's the motive. The motivation of this is to show us that we have something to fight for and hold. Got a few more calls I'm going to take. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, it's Dana calling from the Valley.
Dana from the Valley. What's on your mind?
I'm just laughing because you gave the opportunity for the chat room that were oppositional to call in, and only pro people have been calling in and giving their opinion. So I'll give mine. I would say probably 2016, it really ramped up in 2019. The delineation movement became a thing. And we were standing up and saying, you can't play like you us anymore. I agree with Larry with Drake and that soft music. I heard it because, I'm from the era of the 90s and the NWA and all of that stuff. And I just noticed the music was so soft. And I was like, well, who is he talking to? And so it got soft and it got softer. And I was like, And I just saw this whole thing with Fat Joe. Now, Talib Kweli is still butthurt that Yvette Carnell got in his ass and found out, that he was an imposter, that he was playing like he was from this, poor family with no father. Come to find out, he came from a 2-parent educated home where both parents were educators, has a brother that's educated, and he has been hurt about that. The movement is not about anti-immigrant, but what we're saying is everybody has a place. And now we are taking our place and saying, this is who we are. And we have kumbaya'd and invited everybody into the conversation for so long, we lost our place at the head of the table. And we're saying that's over now.
Yeah.
We're saying that's over. Go ahead, Juan.
I just want to say what you said. Because I just want to make a slight correction because you're right. We didn't even lose our places ahead of the table. We got up and started walking around the house and not thinking that everybody was cool. We thought it was. We just got up and started walking around.
We start seeing people for who they are. It's like they have that mask on, and it was like, oh, this is how you really look. Oh,
that's how you really feel. Yeah.
And New York is just a composite of that because they have so many different immigrants. Here in LA, we have a few. When we meet a Black Puerto Rican person, we like, oh, you Puerto Rican? Oh, we even have a whole Belizean community that we, for the most part, get along with.
Right.
So we have our issues, but we don't come from that where someone like Joe, being light-skinned, white-looking, just say nigga so freely. I just always look when he say it and like, Remy Ma, why don't you check him?
Right.
Why you letting this your bro? Why you letting him get away with this?
Right.
And so now all of us are at a place where we not taking it no more. But if you want more context to your conversation, next time you interview Friday Jones, she's from Brooklyn. She has a close connection to the music community, and she got some words.
Okay, I interviewed her a couple weeks ago. I'll do it again.
All right.
Yeah. Thanks for that. Thanks for giving us a call.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye. This is my little buddy right here. Y'all say what's up to Rocky. Y'all say what's up to Rocky. That's why I'm about to go have some. Me and Rocky got to go on a little walk in a little bit. It's about time for him to take a shit. I don't let the little dog shit in my house or piss. Y'all say what's up to Rocky. My little Frenchie. He got to go take his shit in a little bit. So I'm taking another call. But going back, I saw somebody earlier say hip hop, everybody took from New York. No, make it very clear. Nobody took from New York. New York's took from everyone else, and they set up a spark, and they sparked a new wave in the culture, a wave that expanded because Americans stopped teaching black people music in our schools, and so because music stopped being taught in the schools, you have less musical art forms that took more musical art forms place, like hip hop, because people were no longer being taught how to play instruments and how to harmonize. So they had to rap over previously made beats. That's a condition, and it's nothing really even to be proud about. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
My name is D from Los Angeles calling, man.
Yes, sir. What's on your mind?
I enjoy the topic because me and my friend, we had conversations like these, and we felt that, or we got the perception that this stemmed from that Kendrick Lamar and Drake battle. If you notice, when this battle started, that's when all the cornballs and the weirdos start pressing their lines.
Real talk.
Because the thing about it was like Drake was their segue. So they felt that once Drake made a comeback and once he got that $400 million deal, they was going to get a piece of that. He was a stimulus package, which I personally call the hip-hop welfare system for all the trash rappers. That's what Drake was to a lot of these rappers. But also at the same time, even with Lupe Fiasco having his hand in it, coming to find out, the reason why he supported the tailor-made track that Drake did was because he had a hand in the AI system. Because, you know, he speaks at MIT, so he was kind of like having a little bit of, he was kind of like pushing a promotion for that.
Yeah.
So now you starting to see how they starting to expose their hands and how they starting to do it. Just like 50. Like I've been told people about 50 shit, he been on that bull crap, but now
50 weird.
Now we starting to see that. And the thing about Talib Kweli, I hate to say it, a lot of those pro-Black Pac rappers that we was liking, that was in that movement, even though I like the music, a lot of them also exposed, a lot of them were exposed to be phonies and liars and just basically pushing the move. That's why I really didn't connect to people like that. But also, I also wanted to say is that it's good you speaking on this because this is just the tip of the iceberg. More weirdos is about to come out right now because they know that the shift is coming. They know that their way of making music. They know
that's a good point.
They know that their way of making music is starting to die out. So they gotta fight that. And unfortunately, not to pump up Kendrick Lamar because I'm not trying to pump him up, but this battle and what he's doing symbolizes that end of the era. That's why you got some of these rappers that's trying to make diss records at us after the West Coast and came back just for 8 months period, because they don't want us to have that type of grip on the game anymore like the Death Row was so now. But I don't want to hold you up because I know you got people to talk to, but I will say this. I'm glad I seen a picture with you with the young lady that was married to the dude that started the term low ride. I think you said you did an interview with her, right?
Yeah. I'm putting that history together right now as we speak.
Well, I'm about to say this. If you do that and it plays out the way it is, you're going to shake up a lot of stuff in Los Angeles, man. There's going to be a lot of questions asked and a lot of stuff exposed, man. So I appreciate you for doing that. But I'll let you get to your callers, man.
I appreciate that, man. You have a good one.
No problem.
Yes, sir. I had 3 callers calling in at once. I tried to answer one of them. All y'all hung up. But yeah. So there's make it very clear. This is how you know New Yorkers are very insecure. You tell the truth, they say stuff like this. You MFers love throwing shade at New York, but this is nothing new. Man, stop being a bitch. Nobody throwing no goddamn shade. We telling the fucking truth. Did you sample everything else or not? Did everything exist before it got to New York or not? That's a yes or a no. It's not hate. Get out your feelings and tighten your pussy lips. Go take a bath in some vinegar or something like shit to tighten the lips up. Stop. Get out your little Drake emo ass feelings, New York. God damn. What's up, Carter? What's your name? Where you calling from? You there? I guess they're not. If you got an issue, call up. Stop being a ooh, people hate on New York. No. You motherfuckers is thieves and criminals, and we calling you out. You trying to steal something that Black America did and say it's just us. That's thief shit. And no, you cannot be a thief when I know my uncle, my granddaddy, my cousin, my friend created the shit. And you sampled it. Now you want to, No, fuck you. What's up, Carter? What's your name? Where you calling from?
My name is Will. I'm calling from Texas.
Will from Texas. What's on your mind?
Man, I just want to say, man, that you ain't been spitting nothing but facts. And it gets even more political than I think most people want to admit. I mean, if you look back at the 2016 election, they were calling straight black men the new white male. They've been trying, I mean, they're doing everything to just shut us down as foundational black Americans. They're coming from every angle. As far as music is concerned, I'm like you. My daddy is from Mississippi. My mom is from Texas. You can't question my bloodline. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you got these cats out here who want to sit up there and talk about their influences, but their influences are all the people that you're talking about. So how are you going to sit up there and say that you originated something when you're being influenced by nothing but foundational black Americans?
Nothing
all the
but.
Cats, and it's sad because, you know, I grew up, man, I love East Coast hip hop. I love hip hop, period. But the reality is, like, I don't know if you know about this, but right now, a lot of cats are going at Joey Badass because he put out this cut called The Ruler's Back.
Yeah,
but the reality is, who you the ruler of? NYC ain't dropped shit in years.
They dropped Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Well,
give him credit.
Because we know he was a fraud from the jump, man.
Hey, New Yorkers want credit for everything. Give him some credit.
Well, man, I'm sorry, I can't do that. As somebody who's a lover of hip hop and a lover of music like you,
I got you, brother. I'm not gonna put you in that situation.
Man, you one of these cats that got the history. You're an artist. You played instruments. It's really kind of strange when people come at you and try to say that you don't know what you're talking about. When you got a lot of cats who all they know how to play is they iPod or Spotify and shit like that, and then they want to come at you and talk about what you don't know.
Right.
I mean, that's the one thing, and this is what I love about what you've been talking about. Because I've been telling younger cats, because I'm a teacher. I've been telling younger cats, I said, the problem with you guys is you don't have a musical lineage. And you talk about the OJs, you talk about Funkadelic, Function, the Barcades. The reason why you are as deep as you are is because you have a musical lineage on well of being a musician. And that's the thing. Most of these cats don't have a musical lineage. And coming from Texas, I'm going to tell you right now, I got a lot of Latino friends. My high school sweetheart was Spanish. They didn't listen to us at home. They did not listen to us. And I know that's where it is with Puerto Ricans, Brazilians. I went to a party on New Year's. My Latino friend threw a party. They played Latino music the whole time.
Right.
And then I put on Kendrick Lamar. And they changed that shit immediately after it was over and went back to Latino music. So how you gonna tell me you down with me?
Right.
I mean, I ain't got nothing against nobody's culture, but don't try to rob me.
Don't try to take from me to get your shit off.
You know? I mean, not that I was the biggest Fat Joe fan, but the thing about it is like, who are you to represent Latino culture and say that they was part of the founding of it? You know, you said this earlier, but I'm gonna repeat it. The cream rise to the top. Why didn't we get a bunch of Latino rappers going toe to toe with the Rakims and the KRS Ones? And I mean, that was before the record deals. Why weren't they why didn't they rise to the top just like Funky 4 Plus One or Audio 2? Right. I don't know. But brother, keep on doing what you're doing.
I appreciate that.
At you and let you know that you go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, you got it.
Yeah, I'll say no. Yeah, like playing music is important because if you don't really play it, you really don't know. You know, like I don't sing, so but I'm around enough singers because I've been in so many rehearsals. I know enough, but I still never going to come close to acting like I know what I'm talking about because that's not my thing. You know what I mean? So imagine somebody who's never picked up an instrument that they don't have to plug into a computer to figure out. You really don't know. So when you don't know, it's best to listen to somebody who does the work just so you can be better at what you do. That's the way I see it. I'm only doing it to teach, not to hate, you know?
Exactly. But you got to understand, with people like Fat Joe, his ego's out of control. He wants to cement his place in hip-hop. So in order to cement his place in hip-hop, he got to say the Puerto Rican's been there since day one.
Yeah.
That's the only way he can submit his place in hip-hop. If I mean, as much shit as Busta Rhymes is talking, you can't dispute his place on Scenario. You can't dispute what Leader of the New School did. But we all know that he's lying about his influences.
Right.
To sit up here and say that you wasn't listening, you don't know nothing about American black music, and that wasn't a part of what you guys was doing, that's a lie. And I really think they're jealous of the. I think they're jealous of the West Coast.
That's what it is.
They're nothing. They're
jealous and insecure. If I got somebody else that's buzzing my line, man. Thanks for giving us a call.
All right, man. Be easy.
Yes, sir. All right, caller. Call back. You just been called like 5 times in a row. I'm trying to get you all. I'm trying to get that 313 call back. You should come through this time. Call back 313. Call back. Let me see here. Call back 313. Oh, this is the number here. Too late. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
I'm calling from Ohio.
Ohio. What's on your mind?
I was just talking about hijacking of music, and I was thinking about if you remember the Broadway play Hamilton.
Yes.
Right, and that was straight hip hop. The lyrics.
Yeah.
So he essentially stole from hip hop culture, and I'm pretty sure he ain't paid none of them hip hop artists a dime.
Not a motherfucker thing. You ain't lying.
So I just realized I was thinking about that play and how all that was hip hop. He admitted to it, the producer, director, the originator of the whole play, that's where he got it from, hip hop artists. And I think he owes everybody that's a hip hop artist their cut of that play. He made millions off that play, off that Broadway play, and he owes all those hip hop artists a cut of his money.
Real talk.
That's how I feel about it. But yes, I'm talking about hijacking the culture. That's what he did and made mega millions.
That's exactly what they did. They hijacked everything. And that's what they do. But thanks for pointing that part out.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. I enjoy you. Have enjoyed you for several years, you and Dr. Randy Short. And so just glad to talk to you again. It's been a while.
Thank you. It's been a while. I remember your voice. Thanks for giving us a call.
Okay, thank you. Have a good evening.
You have a good one. Yeah, we as black folks, it's like that whole the drum set. Let me pull up this image right here. And then I'm gonna get up out of here. 313, call back. You've been missing it. I've been trying to get your call, 313. I'll give you like a minute, 2 minutes to call back. There it is. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, my name is Z, man. I'm in Detroit, but I'm from the Bronx. I'm from New York. Just wanted to tap in on this a little bit. I'm seeing you talking about hip hop widows.
Yes, sir.
You know, first thing is that I grew up in the Bronx on the West Side, and I remember when they took out all the instruments when I was in 5th grade. We was all learning instruments. They took them out. That forced us to have to like do the bebox and get more on beating on tables and actually, you know, learn different ways of expressing ourselves, you know? And my father was a professional percussionist out of Tennessee, and my uncle is Reuben Wilson. I mention him because Tribe Called Quest and Nas, they sampled from them. You know what I'm saying? My uncle was from Pasadena, California. It's like, you know, a soul, like forefather of acid jazz, Reuben Wilson. So I'm saying it's true, like a lot of us got a lot of our musical taste from foundational Black Americans all over the country and really didn't realize it. You know what I'm saying? But the last point I want to make is that conscious rap movement was really triggered off by when Scott LaRock got killed. You know what I mean? He got killed in front of my building. And
oh, wow.
Yeah, so he basically, his death sparked the movement with KRS-One and them for, you know, for Stop the Violence movement. You guys on the West Coast kind of recreated that in your own way. We're all in the same gang.
Yeah.
So that sparked the movement. There was little conscious records here and there, but the movement of it started, you know. And we knew in New York it was cool, but it was a novelty because eventually, you know, we already was meeting the artists and they wasn't kind of matching, you know, what they was talking about. We knew that. That's why it didn't last long. Lasted had a good four-year run, maybe 5-year run, whatever. The rest of the country started finding all that out later, but we knew on the ground, like, a lot of these guys ain't really who they say they are, but you know, the music guy, but you know, that's why you guys was able to come in. But I said that's the last one. This one more thing I just want to say, and I'm going.
Go ahead.
The DJs, if you look at the DJs in New York, a lot of them were actually, they're Black, but a lot of them in the 80s and 90s were from the Caribbean. And we didn't know that.
Yeah.
So when a lot of people from the South and from the West Coast was trying to get their music played, they was getting rejected because they didn't really come from their culture. To me, it was like our cousins down south, out west, my brothers from California. But to them, it was kind of foreign. That's why they allowed Shabba Ranks and all these other people in dancehall to come in before they allowed the South to come in. You know, because they had more cultural, you know what I'm saying, connection to it. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to say that, just keep that in mind, because we actually liked NWA. We actually liked people in the South. Once it broke through the airways, we embraced it, but it had to break through the airways first. And there was gatekeepers there, you know what I mean? So just want to say that.
That's a good point about the radio DJs, man. Thanks for giving us that, man. You have a good one.
Yes. All right, peace.
See, it all starts from the drums. I'll take one more call. This person been calling for a while. This is my last call. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you been calling from?
The 1B. What's good, Chief?
What's good, man? Everything good?
Everything good, man. First of all, man, much love to the show, bro. I love what you're doing. with the historian perspective of music and shit. You the only ones on YouTube rocking like that, man. So respect to you.
Much love, much appreciated.
But I gotta give you a little friendly pushback, bro. Little friendly pushback, cause I don't hear you giving it up to them boys from Ohio like that, man. Them Isleys like that.
I mean, you don't be listening.
I can't. I probably don't. I've been listening to you for a minute though. Maybe like a month. So I'm somewhat familiar with your content, but
only a month though.
Yeah.
I got about 4 years of giving it up to Ohio.
Okay. Well, hey, look, I couldn't let Jackson 5 take no prime stage and not give it up to them Isleys, bro. Because I really personally feel like, and this is probably where I guess I'm gonna get burnt, by the chat. But I think the Jackson is overrated. All right, like Michael Jackson, the whole Jackson shit, that whole shit. If anybody deserves credit out of that, it's Joe. Now Joe is the nigga of the Jacksons that I think really is underrated. But
so after all this talk about greatness in black music, why you gotta come cutting greatness down?
Yeah, I know, man. It be like that though.
And this with respect. This with respect. First, you call saying I don't give it up to Ohio when I do. Only thing I do is I tell the truth that funk called on to California before it got to Ohio, and that's just true. It's not hating on Ohio's. Sly and the Family Stone did it before. The Ohio players are still playing jazz when Sly and the Family Stone got on the funk, and that's just true. It's not hating on Ohio, but I always give Ohio credit. As a matter of fact, I did a post today on Twitter. You can look and see right here on the screen. I did a post just today about the interconnectedness of Steve Arrington and Mark Adams on bass in the group Slave out of Ohio. That was just today. Me sure loved Ohio.
Let me clarify.
And second, one more. Let me finish because you're going at the Jacksons. And
I'm going at the
although it might not be your preference, and everyone's entitled to their preference, I'm never going to tell someone they shouldn't feel how they feel, whatever they do. But when you have a child group that can sing five-part harmony and play live music and dance at the age of 15, how can you minimize that?
I mean, Joe Jackson is get the credit for that. He
No. You still have, and Joe Jackson. Hell, my father-in-law was the one that was writing the vocal harmonies, not Joe. My father-in-law.
Man, there would be no Joe Jackson, no Jackson 5 without Joe Jackson.
And there would be no Joe Jackson, and there would be no Joe Jackson without his father. That's a moot point. The fact of the matter is, these kids got together and they did it. And no matter how many parents have their kids, how many parents have their kids in music and they didn't get into the Jacksons? Every parent at that time had their kids singing. They couldn't do what the Jacksons did.
No, man. Joe Jackson did that, man.
So Joe Jackson was singing those E flats.
Joe Jackson put them in the position to do that. He gave them the discipline. He gave them the identity, man. Joe Jackson was the mastermind.
So how did they sustain that? How did they sustain it after Joe left?
Say what now?
How did they sustain that after Joe left?
I mean, I'm not saying they wasn't talented, but Joe put them on the path to that. You know what I'm saying? And really, honestly speaking, the Jackson 5 and the Jackson family went off course when Joe got, distant from them and all that. But on top of that, let me just put this out there because you're a historian. So you already know that the Isleys was on Motown before the Jackson 5. You already know that.
Old news.
Right? All right, cool. So, but with that, though, the whole family, boy band shit you talking about, the Isleys put that in motion.
Isleys weren't on a boy band, brother. The Isleys weren't a boy band.
Bitch made.
The Isley brothers were not a boy band. The Isley brothers were adults, sir. They were adults. They weren't 12.
No, they were brothers.
Yes, it does matter. A boy band is children. That's the difference.
No, they were young men, bro.
Young men.
Before they got
young men.
Motown, they were young boys.
Young men.
That was
making
music.
The Jackson 5 were boys.
Ernie Isley is the greatest.
See, I had to hang up on old boy. Yeah, chat room. I apologize. Chat room. And this is an issue that we have as a people, and this is on us as black people. You get somebody that's great, and instead of somebody being able to say, you know what, this person wasn't my cup of tea, this group wasn't my preference, they gotta go hating on them and talking shit. Well, it wasn't that good. And then they be wrong. Then they just be flat out wrong. The Isley brothers were adults. Michael Jackson was 11. Just men in the chat room. Y'all know what our voices go through between the ages of 11 and 16, 17. Your voice goes through a transition. You go from your kid voice to your adulthood when you hit puberty. And that's why most boy bands and girl bands, children bands, don't make it through adulthood. You're right, there have been plenty of child bands. Plenty. But they don't make it through adulthood because when their voices go through that maturity, they lose their child voice and go to their adult voice, they can't keep it the same. And to be able to pull off a 5-part harmony as a musician and be able to play music and sing it at the same time, how can that be minimized? But we get black people who can't play none of it, can't sing, can't dance, don't know any instrument, telling me and you that somebody ain't that good. Hey, well, if they ain't that good, why didn't you do it? Joe was a musician. If it was all Joe, why couldn't he do it? And I have reverence for Joe because he created a bunch of kings and queens, literally. Michael Jackson, the Jackson 5 are kings. Janet is a queen. But we have this, and the man wanted to argue with me. See, one thing I'm not going to do, I'm not going to argue over which talented person is better than the other talented person. The Ohio players, the Isley brothers and the Jackson 5 are both great. And they're great in their own right. They're great in their own way. Who the fuck got time to sit here and argue over which is which? A song is only 3 to 5 minutes long. I can listen to the Isley brothers and the Jackson 5. Hell, I can listen to both of them's album within an hour and still have a couple minutes left over. The brother called in saying, I don't show love to Ohio. Man, look, what time was this post, people? This post was 2 hours ago, 12:09 p.m., January 5th, talking about the greatness and the dedication it took for Mark Adams and Steve Arrington to lock in. I was just talking about how this song right here, Snapshot, is a killer to cover bands. This song will kill a cover band. I was just talking about Steve Arrington and Mark Adams' greatness. And I'm going to get a strike on YouTube. That's all right. I'll take that part down. You can get the extended version back on I'll put this up with the music over back for my members. I was just talking about the greatness of the Ohio sound. And I got somebody calling in saying I don't. And then hated on the Jackson 5. Here's another thing, people. And he's new to the show, call back when you can. But one thing, this isn't a platform for debating ignorant shit. See, in the old days, black people, everybody gets a voice. No. Everybody does not get a voice around here, okay? People who say wise things get a voice. Not everybody. And again, you have an issue with the Jackson 5, that's fine. Everybody's not going to like everybody. I don't believe in making people all have to fit in the same box. Me personally, There are a lot of bands from the 70s I didn't necessarily like. I wasn't a big fan of what was that group? I was a fan of a lot of groups. I don't have much bad to say about really any group from the 70s. But let me take the group of the Bar-Kays. The Bar-Kays aren't my favorite group, although I like a lot of their music, because the Bar-Kays tended to sound like other groups. The Bar-Kays never really pushed the sound forward, but if you made a hit, they will make a song that sounded almost just as good. And that was the Bar-Kays' greatness. It was around, but I don't put the Bar-Kays on the same level as an Earth, Wind & Fire, as a Parliament, as Ohio Players, because bands like that were innovating and always pushing the sound forward. There was always something new. The Bar-Kays didn't really push the sound forward. They would come right in behind you. But never am I going to spend a whole show dissing the Bar-Kays, because the Bar-Kays were still a great fucking group. We don't have time to talk about, well, they weren't that good. No, they were still fucking great. They just didn't innovate, because innovation is more of where I lean to. We have to be able to have these conversations without cutting at the necks. Tell the truth about what it is. Ty, you picked that up? Yeah, Bar-Kays. Yeah, see, if you know, you know. The Bar-Kays were always coming in right behind. They were never the ones pushing the sound. From the 60s all the way, the 70s all the way through the 80s. You know, Midnight Star came out with... Midnight Star came out with that. The Midas Touch. And then they came out with...
I'll be forced to give you a ticket.
No Parking on the Dance Floor. They came out with that. Midnight Star. And the Bar-Kays said, that sounds good. So they came out with... I love the Bar-Kays. But Freak Show on the Dance Floor came out after Midnight Star did No Parking on the Dance Floor. So, and I still love that song Freak Show, and I still love the Bar-Kays. But the truth has to be told. But that's not hating on the Bar-Kays, and it's not minimizing, because it takes a great motherfucking band to be able to pull it off. See how that works? Now back to the point I was going to make before I took that call. Threw me off my rocker a little bit talking about the Jacksons. No, everybody does not get a voice. The drums are the base of what it is. And let me give you an example on how to play in the pocket from the great Dennis Chambers. Dennis Chambers got his first break playing with Parliament Funkadelic at the age of 16, 17. When Dennis Chambers had that Jerry curl, man. That's the sauce it takes, the Black American sauce in the music. You see that foot pedal? You see that foot pedal on his right foot? That was invented by a Black American, D.D. Chandler, the person who invented the drum set. And he's the person that took the drum set from a front line, 5 different guys playing the drums, to one person, one pocket. And one person, one pocket is what created the groove for what we know as funk, rhythm and blues, and the American music sound. pocket on the 2 on the floor, as Dennis Chambers is doing right here.
Going on, you know? So I had to like yell, you know, like real loud to kind of off the tunes.
See, that's Dennis Chambers talking about what it takes to jail.
Parliament Funkadelic or Funkadelic music had a heavy influence on my funk playing. I think that's actually when I learned how to play with a rhythm section. You know, I mean, because up until that time, you know, like with the fusion music, you know, I mean, it's about playing with each other there, but you know, you really, I mean, you know, you're playing a lot and you're not really listening. I mean, you're listening, but you're really not listening to what's going on around you.
Right.
At least when, you know, some of the musicians I grew up playing with, playing fusion music at that time, that's what that was about. But when I joined P-Funk, or Parliament Funkadelic, you know, it was 20 guys, and it had to sound like 20 people on the bandstand.
So how old were you when you joined the band?
This is Dennis Chambers talking about the pocket it takes. Appreciate the Cash App, Zahir. Much love and appreciation. You can go back and watch this video with Dennis Chambers, my favorite drummer of all time, talking about the pocket it takes to make the music the sauce. And it's in these geniuses like Dennis Chambers, Steve Arrington, Bootsy Collins, Dana Clyde Stubblefield, Fred Wesley, Bernie Worrell on keys, Junie Morrison. People like to talk all kind of shit. The biggest hits, one of Buster's biggest hits was, and Kanye's biggest hits, was off of this. No Parties in LA. Also, Buster, what it is right now. Buster, what it is right now. You got it from Junie. You got it from Junie. He was the one that also played the Funky Worm. What would hip hop be without the Funky Worm, nigga?
She's here. That's it. That's it. Don't fight the feeling. Don't fight it.
What would hip hop be without that?
Going back in his hole. It's the same way it came out.
What would hip hop be without the Funky Worm? New York, y'all don't get to claim shit. That's the sauce that made hip hop pop off. The pocket and the funk. So yes, this is a year of me pissing everybody off. If you want to be tied down to your city, if you want your region to get all of the congratulations, I'm gonna bust your motherfucking bubble. Black music is a cross-pollination, all different cities and areas where black people live. Yeah, Jay-Z's biggest hit was Junie. Yeah. You don't get to claim the culture when you didn't make the music. Let me shut up because we're going to do a music breakdown later on today. Probably around 6 or 7 Pacific time, all right? Look for me to come back live on Patreon and also on Twitter and Mixcloud at around 6 or 7 p.m. tonight. But no, you don't get to claim the credit. No, the Midwest did not create the funk. That's another one, Midwesterners. Y'all keep saying that, I'm going to bust y'all bubble too. James Brown was not from the Midwest. Dana Clyde Stubblefield was not from the Midwest. Sly and the Family Stone was not from the Midwest. War was not from the Midwest. That was the South and the West that created the funk, and the Midwest took it to another level. Isaac Hayes was playing funk before the Ohio Players. 1969, Isaac Hayes was playing funk when the Ohio Players were still playing jazz. All right, but now the Ohio Players the Midwest most definitely took funk and blew it up and expanded funk. Most definitely, 100%. The Midwest expanded funk and took funk to new heights, but it did not create the funk. Yeah, Bedbug, we are infighting because we got to get this history straight. And guess what you doing? You in our business instead of your own sorry, decrepit ass country, bitch. Of course we're infighting. That's what it takes to get the record straight. We've been lied to. So we got to have a little bit of infighting to get the record straight. But Black Americans, we can infight in love. While your bedbug ass can go home and infight about goddamn steel drum music. Go play some maracas, bitch. Get out of our business. No, G-Funk is not based on Detroit funk. It's not. What was the #1 song that got G-Funk started?
So I could get some phones rolling in my ride, chilling all alone.
Just hit the east side.
That got G-Funk popping, right? That's a symbol of what? What? That's a symbol of what? That was a Michael McDonald sample. Michael McDonald, known as quote unquote Yacht Rock. If you watch the Yacht Rock documentary, they'll tell you right there that was White Boy's version of funk. White Boys out of LA. That was the white LA sound that was using black musicians out of LA. Louis Johnson on bass. You dig what I'm saying? That was Yacht Rock, the Yacht Rock era where white bands were doing black music using black musicians. And that whole era comes out of Los Angeles, not Ohio. Stop it. I would not lie to you niggas. That's where the G-Funk got started, according to Warren G. If you want to go into Dre Day, fine. You want to go into that? Fine, fine, fine. That was Leon Haywood. Leon Haywood was born in Houston, but spent his adult life in Los Angeles. That right there, Dre Day. Y'all want to hear the original? That was a sample of Leon Haywood. I wanna do something freaky to you. Well, That's G-Funk. He's from Houston. Lived in LA. Recorded that in LA. That was recorded LA to LA. Willie Hutch is from LA. This is G-Funk right here. Oh yeah, they don't like, oh man, fucking Spotify don't have that. But I tell you what does have it. Apple. Let me play it over here on Apple. That's LA funk. Want to go down south with some LA funk? Y'all remember? Throw some D's on that bitch. Remember, throw some D's on it? That's out of LA. That's LA funk. We got to get the story right. Yeah, Woody Hutch don't get enough credit because LA niggas ain't the ones going around trying to claim everything. We got so much shit here out of LA, and then people want to be like, y'all got it from us. No, we didn't. We created our own shit out here. So yeah, everybody's about to get it. If you think your region is more special than the other region, you're going to get it. Because there is no region more special than the other. It takes all of us. And I'm going to keep teaching you niggas until you get that through your thick ass skulls. Takes all of us. And we're going to do a music show later on in the day. All right? Thank y'all again for listening. I know this shit going to get struck from me playing so many music. So it's probably going to, I'm going to get my monetization and wipe out some of that music that I played and put it back up on for my members, okay? Thank y'all again for listening. Thank y'all again for listening. Remember, there are no perfect messengers, only perfect messages for those willing to pick up the sound. Those willing to, I'm fucking up my own quote, for those willing to pick up the game. Yeah, I appreciate y'all. Yeah, Patrice Russian and Dougal Chancellor, that's all funk. Man, funk is a black American sound. And it starts with James Brown. It starts with James Brown. All right? We're going to do a live music show breaking all this stuff down in a couple hours. Y'all have a good one. We out.